Welcome once again to an evening with the Riverside Township radio players. Tonight we're presenting something a little out of our comfort element. We will be heading back to the year 1946 in a show that was a juvenile edition. Information, please. The kids who appeared on the show were regularly called geniuses with IQ tests measured at 135 to 180, and there were a few that had 200 or higher. In fact, 4 of them, Ruthie Duskin, Lonnie Lundy, Richard Williams, and Joel Kupperman, all came from the Chicago area. I'm told that we will be out of our element a bit here because also by the age of 16, the children appearing on the show were considered too old and no longer eligible. Not all the kids were experts in all categories, although perhaps one of the most gifted in math was little Joel Kupperman. One night when Joel was all of 6, the kids were asked to calculate how many seconds there were in a year. No hands came up for 10 or 15 seconds, and finally Joel spoke up and his voice announced, 31,536,000. The moderator started to say, "That's very good, Joel," but Joel interrupted him and said, "Oh, wait, it's 31,536,360. I added in leap year," and it brought the house down. The show had its own moderator, an Oak Park resident named Joe Kelly. He added a gentle human quality to the show that many other well-known applicants did not, and often admitted that he wondered what he was doing there, because after all, he had dropped out of school after the 3rd grade to go into show business. But he was far from dumb, and he did a lot of preparation for each show, and he treated the kids with gentle humor. An added fact that you might be interested in knowing was that the Quiz Kids was a creation of Louis G. Cowan. He was a Chicago advertising and public relations man who had also created the TV's $64,000 question, and he was disgraced by rigging scandals. But tonight, nothing is rigged. You won't see our scripts. You will only see 5 bright little children ready to dazzle you with their high IQs and their eager, fresh, scrubbed faces. Well, we keep telling you, audience members, that after all, this is radio, and you're to bring your imagination. So let's begin.
The Quiz Kids, presented by the makers of Alka-Seltzer and One-A-Day brand vitamins.
If a brick weighs 1 pound plus 1/2 brick, how much does the brick weigh?
That's the first question for the Quiz Kids tonight. I wonder if you folks at home or in the audience can work it out before the children get their hands up. Well, you better work fast, because after all, here are the Quiz Kids. In addition to a lot of tricky questions like the one you just heard, we have a special guest from Hollywood on our show tonight. And here's our teacher to tell you about it, the chief quizzer himself, Joe Kelly.
Thank you, Bob Murphy, and good evening, everyone. Well, our own quiz kid, Harvey Fishman, is still in Hollywood on a special assignment from the Chicago Times to interview famous movie children. And after we get through with our schoolwork, we're going to switch to Hollywood, where Harvey is waiting with a movie star guest. She's one of our ex-quiz kids, and you'll all remember her by her own name, Smila Brind. But now, Smila is a famous movie star with a leading role in the late George Apley, and her Hollywood name is Vanessa Brown. It'll be wonderful to hear Smila's voice again in our classroom. Now, quiz kids, let's pitch right into our schoolwork. and show Smeela that the quiz kids are still a match for tricky questions. Of course, we always call a roll first, so here we go. Patrick?
I'm Patrick Collum Conlon, and I'm 9 years old in 4A at Fort Dearborn School.
Ruthie?
I'm Ruthie Duskin. I'm 12 years old and in the 9th grade at U High.
Alan?
I'm Alan Flaxen. I'm 12 years old at the 8th grade at Alcott School.
Naomi?
I'm Naomi Cooks, and I'm 8 years old and in 3A at the Grover Cleveland School.
And Joel?
I'm Joe Kupperman, and I'm 10 years old in 6B at Lowell School in Chicago.
Well, what do you know? Our class tonight is one of the youngest in our quiz kid history. The average age is just 10 years old, but just the same, I'll bet these little juniors will do all right on these tough questions I have here. Now let's see how many of you, if any, have figured out that first question, which incidentally came all the way from Sapporo, Hokkaido, Japan, from Lieutenant Ben Snyder of the 11th Airborne Division. If a brick weighs 1 pound plus 1/2 brick, how much does the brick weigh? Well, I see 4 hands up. Joel had his hand up first. All right, Joel.
Well, if subtracting the half of brick from the whole brick, you get 1/2 of the brick equals 1 pound. So therefore, the brick equals 2 pounds.
2 pounds is right. Well, I had a hunch we were going to give away one of those super-duper radios on that, but my hunch was all wrong. Now I'll get 2 out of 3 on this next question from Julian Capers of Dallas, Texas. It's about queens in the Bible. You must identify the queens from their own words. Here's the first part. And she said unto Ahab, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth. Pat?
That was Athaliah, and she said that she had a husband, and that
Wait a minute. What did you say,
that
Pat?
was Athaliah.
No.
Oh, Jezebel. I meant to say Jezebel.
Jezebel, that's right, Jezebel. That's correct. Now the second part. And she said to the king, It was a true report that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and thine wisdom. Ruthie?
The Queen of Sheba who came to visit King Solomon.
That's right, the Queen of Sheba. And here's the last part. And she answered, If it seemed good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for them. Naomi.
Esther.
Queen Esther, that is right. Nice going, kids. Ed Chamberlain of Dayton, Ohio, wants us to pretend that we're at a baseball game and try to find 3 things on the playing field that we might also find in the grandstand. For example, we might see a player on the field fan out. And of course, we'd see lots of fans in the grandstands. We might even see some fan with a fan fanning a fan without a fan. Never can tell. All right, to satisfy Mr. Chamberlain, you must think of at least 3 more. Ruthie.
Well, in the grandstands, you might hear a baby bawling.
A baby bawling. That's very, very cute, Ruthie. Pat?
Well, there's a pop fly, I believe, and there's going to be a pop in the grandstands, too.
There certainly would be a pop in the grandstands, and a mom probably would be there, too. All right. Alan?
If there are any rich fans, you might find a diamond up there, and there's also one on the baseball field.
That's also very good, Alan. Joel?
Well, the picture has a lot of curves. And there's plenty in the grandstands.
Oh, now, Joel. Ruthie, I think you just thought of another one. All right, Ruthie.
Well, if somebody was hungry and hadn't finished eating their lunch, they might be eating from a plate.
Eating from a plate, yes. Well, say, those were all fine, kids, and that was a lot of fun. Now, here's a good chemistry question from David Sursa of Muncie, Indiana. The objects in the following groups have a chemical element common to the entire group. You name the element they have in common. 2 out of 3 on this one. Now here's the first group. A diamond ring, a lump of coal, and a piece of pencil lead. Ruthie.
Carbon.
Carbon, that's right.
In the pencil lead in the form of graphite, and in coal, it's all mixed up with a lot of impurities, and the diamond, it's in a very hard form.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Well, all we were asking for was the common element. All right, now here's the second group. A match, a lemon phosphate, and a bag of fertilizer. Alan.
Nitrate?
No.
Phosphorus.
Phosphorus, that's right. And in this third group, what compound do the following have in common? A piece of dry ice, a bottle of soda pop, and a fire extinguisher. Ruthie?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide, that's right. Hey, we're just breezing through these questions tonight. Now, in case you kids haven't made up your minds what you want to be when you grow up, John G. Putman of Oregon, Illinois, suggests 3 vocations found in Gilbert and Sullivan's songs. Irma Glenn will play the numbers on the organ, and you try to ferret out the vocations. Now, try to get all 3. Here's the first one. Joel?
Sea captain.
And why did you say sea captain?
Because it's I Am the Captain of the Pinafore by Gilbert and Sullivan.
That's right, Joel, that's right. A sea captain, or any kind of a captain. Now let's listen to the next one. Ruthie?
That's a wandering minstrel eye. So he'd be a wandering minstrel, a troubadour, or somebody.
That's right. Very
And
good.
it's from the Mikado by Gilbert and Sullivan, sung by Nanki Poo.
Yes. Gilbert and Sullivan. That's right. All right, now let's listen to this last part. Ruthie again.
For I'm a pirate king from Pirates of Penzance.
Well, is that really the name of the selection?
Well, oh, better far to live and die?
Oh, better far to live and die. That's right. Very good, Ruthie. Now for our vitamin question as presented by Mr. Murphy.
How can I find out if one-a-day multiple vitamins can help me feel better?
And the answer, also presented by Mr. Murphy.
Try this easy home vitamin test. Ask your Douglas for the 60-capsule package of one-a-day brand multiple vitamin capsules. It will cost you just $2 and it will last you 60 days. You take 1 capsule every day for 60 days and then you check. Do you feel better as far as your nerves, digestion, and vital energy are concerned? Do your friends tell you, you look better? Well, then the logical answer for you is to keep right on taking one-a-day brand multiples. However, if you do not honestly feel that one-a-day brand vitamins have benefited you, we do not want you to pay for them. Simply take the empty package back to the druggist and he'll return your money. Start this convincing home vitamin test in your home today. Remember, the brand you want is one-a-day. Now let's have some more schoolwork, Mr. Kelly.
Coming right up, Robert. Now, kids, here's a question that makes me dizzy just to read it, so pay close attention. It's from Marilyn Jost of Davenport, Iowa. There are 3 horses named Left, Right, and Wrong. They are hitched with right on the left, left in the middle, and wrong on the right. Then they are changed with wrong on the left, right in the middle, and left on the right. Then the outside horses change places. In what position is wrong? Ruthie?
On the left.
No.
Because you said that wrong was changed to the right.
Well, that's, no, wait a minute.
So he changed places with the other outside horse who must be on the left. Then he would be on the left.
Now let's wait and see. Now, Joel has his...
Wasn't he in the center?
Now, are you asking me?
I'm telling you.
I told you this made me dizzy, even to read it, kids. Pat?
Well, I'll take a guess. Since two of them are already guessed, I'll say on the right.
Well, you could be wrong. I mean, Alan?
I think he was definitely in the center.
No, wrong is on the right. See, I said that the change was wrong on the left, right in the middle, and left and right, and left, right, and left. I'm getting all mixed up here myself. But the correct answer is wrong, or I mean is, well, yes, wrong is on the right. Next question. We have a miss here, by the way. The class missed that question. So that means that Marilyn Jost of Davenport, Iowa, gets a big zenith from the makers of Alka-Seltzer. It's a $200 radio phonograph combination with 2 FM bands and featuring sensational new way to play records with the Cobra tone arm. Why don't you mail a question to Quiz Kids Chicago, friends? If the kids miss your question, then you get one of those big radio phonograph sets. And if we use your question on the show and the children answer it correctly, you get a new Zenith Standard and Shortwave Clipper Portable. Now back to questions. There are many commodities that we are still unable to buy, but Lulu Livingstone of Pinson, Alabama, asks you what commodities or articles did these characters of mythology really need and never get? What about Icarus? What did he need most? Pat?
Well, he needed some discipline to stay down with his father when he got away and went up to the sun, and also he should have stronger wings.
Well, I think we can get all the discipline that we want these days. All right, Joel?
He needed an airplane.
An airplane. That would come in very handy, wouldn't it, Ruthie?
He needed better wax on his wings. No, that's not true either, because the wax would melt even if it was good. I think I agree with the person that said better wings.
Better wings.
Yeah.
All right, Alan?
I think that some of the plastics like Bakelite would have taken the place of the wax.
Possibly. Well, those are all good suggestions. How about Niobe? How about Niobe? Ruthie?
Well, something, some kind of a drug that would keep people alive forever.
Well...
Because she was the one, I believe, who had her sons and daughters and herself killed.
Well, that's right, but there's something else that I had in mind that, Pat?
Well, she needed 6 more daughters and 7 more sons because Apollo killed the sons and Diana killed the daughters, all but one.
Well, that's true, but I'm thinking about Joel.
Well, she'd probably need a big sheet of metal to cover themselves so they could hide.
Well, I was thinking that when she was transported by a whirlwind to the top of the mountain, where she remained with her tears flowing unceasingly, well, naturally, I thought possibly she might be able to use some handkerchiefs, some hankies, some Kleenex, something like that. All right, how about Phaeton? Phaeton. Pat?
Well, he had to be a good driver because he drove the chariot of the sun.
Yes, he did. So...
And also he might need a stronger whip.
A stronger whip.
And reins for the horses.
Yes, strong reins. Ruthie?
Well, he needed some kind of a thing that would keep him up in the air because, well, maybe wings or maybe some kind of a lifting thing like a balloon or something, because when he fell from the chariot, he sure needed something.
He certainly did, you bet. Joel?
Well, he needed a good road under him, a long road under him.
Well, so far so good. However, you kids missed one part of that question, and that means that Lulu Livingstone of Pinson, Alabama, who sent in the question, gets the big $200 Zenith radio phonograph set. Now, since we're cutting in our roving quiz kid, Harvey Fishman from Hollywood again tonight, let's see how well you quiz kids here in our classroom know your movie stars. Mrs. Esther Norman of Moline, Illinois, wants you to imagine you are approaching a movie set and you overhear the following stars speaking. What typical or characteristic expressions might you hear? First star that you hear speaking is Katharine Hepburn. Ruthie?
Oh, really, I am.
That's all right, Ruthie. And how about Judy Canova? What might she say? Alan?
It was back at some sort of junction. He talked like a farmer. She talked like a farmer.
How does she talk? How would she... Can you remember how she would...
I can't imitate her.
Anybody? Any of you other children? How about you, Naomi?
Well, I think I can, but I don't know what she says, so I couldn't imitate her.
Well, she might say anything. Some little expression, if you listen to her on the radio, that you might recall. And you might possibly be able to say it just like she would say it. Can you... Would she say, "It's a nice day," or something like that? "How have you been?" Or "What's cooking?" or something like that. How would she say, "What's cooking?" Well, let's see. Alan has his hand up.
Well, Pedro would come in and say, "Buenos noches, señorita." And she would say, "Bañas noches to you too, Pedro."
That's all right. That's very good. You know, all right. Naomi?
Well, I could imitate Pedro, but I don't really know, like, what he says and...
Oh, you can imitate Pedro. Fine. Let's hear you imitate him.
Pardon me, señorita, for speaking in your face.
That was so very good, Naomi. Muchas gracias. You know, last Tuesday was the first anniversary of the world's first atomic bomb explosion on the New Mexico desert. The fourth bomb exploded was the one at Bikini. C.L. Wilson of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, wonders whether you can answer these questions. 2 out of 3. First, how many ships were sunk at Bikini? Pat?
18, I believe.
No, sorry. Joel?
15.
Nope. Ruthie?
I think it was 5 sunk and in the teens injured.
5 sunk, that's right. Within what radius from the actual explosion were ships damaged? Within what radius from the actual explosion were ships damaged? Joel?
Well, I know it was supposed to be 6 miles around.
Oh, no, son. No. Alan?
I think it was 2 miles.
No. Ruthie?
3 miles?
No. Pat?
10 miles.
I'm afraid you're all guessing. 3/4 of a mile. Tell me this. When will the next atomic bomb test be made? Joel?
July 25th, Thursday.
That's very, very good. All right. Well, you got 2 out of that. Now, Bob, these people want to ask you some questions.
I was very interested in that home vitamin test you mentioned, Mr. Murphy, but I'd like to know which vitamins I get in one-a-day brand multiple capsules.
You get 8 different vitamins in one capsule. Vitamin A, vitamin B1, B2, B6, vitamin C, vitamin D, and 2 additional vitamins of the B complex. 8 different vitamins in one capsule. And you, sir, you have a question?
Yes. How do you know that any of us needs extra vitamins?
Well, that's a fair question, and here's the answer. In government surveys, it has been proven that 3 out of 4 American working people do not get enough vitamins to encourage the highest level of health. In a test conducted among 2,000 New York school children, 1,300 of them, 65%, were found to be deficient in 1 or more of the important vitamins. The chances are very high that you yourself may not be getting enough vitamins, your food, to feel and to look your best.
Well, that's pretty strong evidence, Mr. Murphy. Would you review that home vitamin test for us again?
Gladly. You ask your druggist for the $2 package of one-a-day brand multiple vitamin capsules. Take 1 capsule each for 60 days. Then if you don't feel that you have been benefited by One-A-Day brand, return the empty package to your druggist and he'll return your money, refund your money. Start this home vitamin test right away. And remember, the brand you want is One-A-Day. Well now, Joe, are you ready to switch to Hollywood for Harvey and Vanessa Brown?
Oh no, Bob, we're not quite through with our question list. Pretty soon, though. Let's show Harvey and our charming guest how well you can do with this one, Quiz Kids. This question is from the Ballantines, who just returned from 18 months overseas with the USO. They are here in the studio to provide the music with their own question, and believe me, their harmonica playing is a treat for the ears. Bob Ballantine will play a chromatic harmonica, and his wife, Agnes, will provide accompaniment on a large harmonica about a yard long. Now you kids are to imagine that you're attending a jam session of classic composers, and they all do an arrangement of whispering, which, as you will remember, goes like this. Now then, you will hear 3 variations on that theme, as 3 classic composers might have written it. You are to name the composer. All right, Ballantines, let's have the first one. Ruthie?
Well, that would have been Ravel.
No. Joel?
Could it have been back?
You mean Bach, Joel? No. Well, you give up on that, Pat? Did you have your hand up?
I was going to say Beethoven.
No. Ruthie?
Brahms?
Brahms.
Well, it sounded slightly like his Hungarian Dance No. 5, or some of it slightly.
Well, I think you have something there, and also a little bit of Hungarian Dance No. 6, too. All right, let's listen to the next one. Joel?
I picked Sousa.
Ruthie?
I think that was Schubert's March Militaire.
That's just what it was. That's right, Franz Schubert. And here's the last one. All right. How about that one, children? Ruthie?
Maybe that was Ravel.
That's just who it is, Ravel. Very, very good. Yes, sir, that was Ravel, and there's the bell, Quiz Kids. That means you don't have another thing to worry about. The questions are over, and I might add you did a mighty good job for a 10-year-old class. And now we all climb up on radio's magic carpet and whisk away across country to Hollywood, where Harvey Fishman is waiting to interview our special guest in Movieland. She's the charming young starlet, Vanessa Brown. You'll all see her soon playing the role of Agnes Willing in the movie production of the late George Apley. But you Quiz Kids fans remember her on our program many times when she was just a little quiz kid named Smila Brind. And my goodness, how fast time passes. Smila's grown up into a lovely young lady who marries George Apley's son in the picture. We're all aboard, Harvey, and in just about 5 seconds, we'll be right there with you in Hollywood.
Thanks, Mr. Kelly. Hello again. Well, it looks like this is family reunion day on the Quiz Kids. As you know, an old member of our gang has really made good here, and movie folks are expecting great things from her. Gee, I wonder if she still remembers how to introduce herself as a quiz kid.
Why, certainly. My name is Vanessa Brown. I'm a junior at UCLA. I'm 18 years, oh my goodness, what am I saying? I'm 16 years plus.
Huh. Gosh, you look good.
Thank you, Harvey. So do you.
How you've grown.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, let's do it one at a time. How about you, Vanessa? What happened to you since you left Broadway and the Quiz Kids?
Well, we were lured to Hollywood with a contract.
And you've been in a bunch of pictures, I know, because I enjoyed them all.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed them half as much as I enjoyed making them.
Well, what's the nicest thing that happened to you since you came out here?
A Christmas present.
A Christmas present?
Yes. Mr. Darrell F. Zanuck signed me to a contract last Christmas Eve.
Oh boy, I bet you had a Merry Christmas.
Oh, a merry year, too. Why, I'm on my second picture for 20th Century Fox already. It's been wonderful. One of the finest directors we have on the lot. I've had two of the very best.
Oh, well, who are you working with now?
J.L. Mankiewicz. He's so, oh well, Uncle Joe is wonderful.
He sounds wonderful. Well, as long as you're plugging your picture, the late George Apley, you might as well tell us the producer's name.
Oh, another grand person, Fred Komar.
Good enough. Any other excitement?
Yes, I've done radio work.
Why, sure. I heard you as Bernadette on Easter Sunday, Vanessa. You mind if I call you Van for short?
Of course not.
Oh, Van.
Oh, come. Is that the way for a newspaper man to act? Confidentially, Harv, what's the latest on the Hollywood beat?
Oh, hard work. I've been kissed by Mary Pickford.
Oh, were you at Pickford, Harvey? How did you like it?
Oh, it was swell, especially the swimming pool, even though I came out a drip.
Oh, I could say something, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, isn't it about time for us to say goodnight?
Yes, Harvey, it is.
Okay, you say it first, with a little help from William Shakespeare.
Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I have to say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I sleep and peace so sweet to rest?
Good night, Mr. Kelly.
Good night until next week, Mr. Kelly.
Well, thank you, Harvey and Vanessa Brown, for getting together on a swell interview. Now, Harvey, we're looking forward to having you back in school soon, and we're also looking forward to your series of articles on Hollywood movie children, which begins in the Chicago Times next Wednesday.
Oh, now, Joe, aren't you forgetting by any chance on the report cards on tonight's Quiz Kids, are you?
Well, Bob, I nearly did. I got so interested in Harvey's interview, I almost skipped right past the business of scores. The judges were working while the rest of us were in Hollywood, and they say that this is an entire class. The Quiz Kids missed only 2 questions tonight. Ruthie came in first, Joel second, Alan third. You 3 are invited back next week to compete with Brian Woods, age 9, and Naomi Bernard, age 13. And of course, each of you 5 children, winners and losers alike, will get a $100 savings bond from the makers of Alka-Seltzer for your good work tonight. This is Joe Kelly dismissing the Quiz Kids class until the same time next Sunday. Good night, kids.
Good night, Mr. Kelly.
Listen to the Quiz Kids every Sunday night, then to Lum and Abner every Monday through Thursday. And incidentally, folks, how about checking your home supply of Alka-Seltzer? Alka-Seltzer can be so helpful so often in your family circle. You don't ever want to be without it. It's a wise idea to buy 2 packages instead of 1. Have the extra package handy to tuck in your suitcase or your car when you take a trip. An occasional headache or acid indigestion may be brought on by traveling, or your muscles may ache with pain from undue fatigue. When these discomforts bring you grief, try Alka-Seltzer for relief. This is Bob Murphy speaking. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company. Okay, I lied. I'm not Bob Murphy, and you can't listen to the Quiz Kids every Sunday night, followed by Lum and Abner. However, I can give you the real names of our little brainiacs that just appeared before you. The quiz master, who did not drop out, but actually graduated from primary school? High school? Oh, one of them. Okay, one of those, college. Ask him later on. He was played by Herb Thompson. Taking on the role of Ruthie Duskin was little Sue Grozinski. Wasn't she a smart apple? Little Patrick Conklin was Walter Kovalik. Not only was Alan Kay a young know-it-all, but he can and also did our music and sound effects for us tonight, and he's Marty McNulty. Naomi Cook was our youngest quiz kidlet. We know her better as Donna Amesmeyer. If you remember, she aged a bit and appeared in the commercial in the middle of the show. And now, how could we forget our boy genius, Joe Kupperman? Let's hear it from tiny Alan Dixon. The two kids who already passed their mandatory retirement age were Harvey Fishman and Smyrna Byrne, also known as Vanessa Brown. Meet Joel Gonzalez, and Sue Kovalik. The most recent member of our Join Our Radio gang has only one line this time, but you'll hear him later on. That was Bill Mueller. Your announcer was truly Bob Murphy. Oh, no, Roger Morris, excuse me. We shall now clear our throats and drop our voices as we get ready to continue.
Oh, wait a minute, Roger. I have a little follow-up to what has become of those youngsters as the years rambled on. Maybe our audiences might be interested. Joel Kupperman and Ruthie Duskin both have IQs over 200. Joel is a philosophy professor at University of Connecticut. Math was always his strong suit. At age 4, he could compute his mother's grocery bill faster than the cash register could. And Ruthie Duskin Feldman is living in Highland Park, Illinois, married 58 years to a successful lawyer, and she is a nationally renowned educator. She's published a number of textbooks and is an author of the book, What Happened to the Quiz Kids? Naomi Cooks was talking at 19 months, and at age 8, she was reading at this high school level, and she's working on a PhD. Patrick Conlon spoke in full sentences as a 1-year-old, and at 2, he could recite poems that he had only heard one time. His mother was a prodigy as well. She was admitted to the University of Illinois at age 14. Harvey Fishman, at 10 months, could speak in sentences. He is known as Harv Bennett, and he is a TV producer. Alan Kay was one of the masterminds behind Xerox and Apple computers. So you see, it pays to be a smarty pants and to do your homework, kids.